Hi, it's me again with Corel tips and tricks. Somebody sent me a video, and the guy did a good job. There's no voice to it, but it's actually in Adobe Illustrator. They want to know how you could do this in Corel, and it was amazing. I watched it. It's amazing the number of tools that are almost the same. And so I'm going to Control D that circle, and then hold down the Shift key and make it equal. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to blend these together. I'm going to go to Effects, Blend, and let's blend them 7 times. And that number has no importance. But then what I'm going to do, I just made up a number. You could make it any number you wanted because we're only going to use 3 of them. Or at least on this video. I'm going to hold down the Control button and make a perfect line. And this is one thing kind of neat about Control D. I'm going to Control D, and then I'm going to pop it up to the next one, and then I can just Control D and make them all. Now, if I hold down the Shift key or the Alt key, I can select all those, Control G, Control D to duplicate them, move the center rotation of that bar to the center of our circle, and rotate it 120 degrees. You don't really have to do the other one, but you might want that corner, so I'm going to Control D, and you'll see in just a second, and make it 240 degrees. You might want the angle type look. And then this is where you just really need to figure out what your graphic wants to look like. I went a little overboard on this last one, so I'm gonna go a little outwardly. And I'm not going to do the first line, I'm going to do the second line. And this is a little bit time consuming, but you can stop wherever you want, and let's stop right there. Now, if you can see, we have little bitty spots that we need to fill in. We need those. And I'm going to show you how to get rid of those lines too. Then I'm going to go to the next one. And because you can combine this and do other things, but if you don't take away these lines in just a second, it'll just cause you a problem. Now, the best way to get rid of all those lines, one, you could group everything together and move all the lines, but it's not going to really be that easily. But if we use find and replace, so for a second, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go to Object, Find and Replace. I'm going to select some blue, and you can see down here we got the blue. From selection, find all. Control G to group them together. Then click off of it and click back and move it out of the way. Now, I'm not going to get rid of these lines because I want to use them in maybe another project or another attempt. So I'm going to put them back to where they were. And now I don't even have to group them together, but I've selected them all. And now I can use the interactive fill tool, and I'm going to go from outward there. I'm actually going to put a black or a darker color here. Now I'm going to have to replace it with a blue out here. You don't want so much of a black, you just want a little bit of a tint. But now this is why I did this on purpose. See the lines? You can see the lines after we did that. So that's a no-no. So we're going to back up here before we did anything. And we're going to look at this in not wireframe. I'm going to look at it in hairline. And then I'm going to take it all, and I've got to go to group and ungroup it. And then weld it. Look at that. It got rid of all the center line. Now, if you had 1 or 2 lingering, you could delete it. Then take your Smart Fill tool now and fill these in. Then just kind of select them all. Get your interactive fill tool. They don't have to be grouped together. You can do it without. And I'm going to put a black at this end or a darker color. And then you don't have to use color. You could use black and white and grays. But I just want a little bit of a tint of darkness there. maybe might be not enough, but now I'm gonna go ahead and group them together. Control G, Control D to duplicate them, and then I can move this rotation here, and then I can rotate it 120 degrees. Control D, and you can see the difference between the one I had up on the screen earlier, where I had a smaller hole, and they were actually touching. I wish I would have copied and pasted that, but you get the idea. So you could do anything. You know, you could do the center one. I could have made that circle smaller, and actually have them spaced out further. But that you get the idea of how to do that. Anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit. Thank you for watching.